So last month we were here with Glenn Hoddle and we asked him a few questions about who would win the Premier League. And he did say Liverpool at that time, and they were top. 1 month has now passed, Liverpool have tailed off, they're struggling. Why do you think that dip in form has come about?
I've covered Liverpool a few times this season, and they might have they've conceded the first in a number of games, but then they've come back. But that was never going to be sustainable. They had to get some sort of control over the games, but they didn't really. I think when he announced that he was going, their response to that was good. But then I think with injuries and the fact that it wasn't sustainable for them to keep going with the way that they were playing, conceding first and then having to come back sometimes in the second half and sometimes late in the game. I think that has just been too much for them, and I think they've just sort of tailed off. He looks absolutely shattered, Klopp. For me, he doesn't, not that he doesn't look well, he just looks like that's it, it's all gone, all the energy's gone from me. I've made the right decision and we tried our best. We got the League Cup, which was wonderful and emotional, but now I just don't think. The problem you've got in the Premier League is Manchester City's, their level is so unbelievably high that you have to thank Klopp for the fact that the last sort of 5 or 6 years has not just been just Manchester City and nobody, been pushing them all away, because it's so difficult to get to that level.
That's true.
Yeah, big boots to fill. So talking about Liverpool then, we can move on to talk about Arsenal and Man City. Obviously they've got the fight now. Which do you think will win the league?
I think that after the result against Aston Villa, who have been absolutely brilliant under Unai Emery, I think that Arsenal had to be perfect because Man City is so good. Even though I watched Manchester City in the last couple of games and they'd not quite been at their level, but even them at 90% is better than the majority of teams in the Premier League, which is really annoying, isn't it? It's really annoying, and we want, not that I don't want Man City to win, I just like to see a little bit of variation in the Premier League. So I think that if Arsenal needed to be perfect to win, and I think now you sort of sway in the way of Manchester City now.
So the 4th and 5th then, you've got Spurs and Aston Villa there. It seems like 5th place won't get into the Champions League. So you probably know your answer already, but who do you think is going to get 4th?
I think Villa are going to get 4th because. But the only issue, I know, sorry, Damaris, Spurs might come through last minute, but I think that the only thing that might not work in Villa's favour is the fact that they've got a lot of injuries and they're sort of tailing off. They've got Europe, they've got the 2 legs that are coming up of the semi-final, but they keep producing results. They keep beating teams, and I think. You look overall of the season, I think Unai Emery, the job he's done is absolutely incredible. So probably Villa, which will be madness. When you think about Villa a couple of seasons ago, it's just madness that where they are now.
So we're focusing on the top 5, but now the bottom 3. Do you think Burnley can survive, or is it relegation for them?
I think don't Burnley play... Forest, the 2 play each other for the last game of the season. Now, having said it, I am, as a kid, I was an Everton fan, so I have to say that Everton actually getting themselves out of relegation at this point, at the end of April, beginning of May, is just incredible because they've had all the points taken off them. I think Sean Dyche has done a good job. I think at one point I thought they were going to go down. But I think right the way along, it was Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton, the teams that come up. Out of those 3, I think Luton have done extremely well. I think they've come up and they've competed, and I think that that's something that Burnley and Sheffield United have not really done throughout the season.
Now we have to talk about my favourite topic, Crystal Palace.
At the end of the season, we've got
Finally, I'll take it. At the moment, Crystal Palace won 3 games on the bounce. We've got a new manager. Tell me everything.
Well, listen, Oliver Glasner. So I covered Oliver Glasner when he was at Frankfurt when they won the Europa League. So I knew the type of football he brings. So when they sort of said Palace were going to bring him in, I was like, yes, because he won't change how he plays. Roy Hodgson, brilliant job sort of maintaining that status of Premier League. But it's like, for now, the Palace fans want to go, right, can we go upwards? Can we change? We've got the players. We've got young players who are good. We've got a great academy, which they do have. So he plays this it's like 3-4, then 2 10s and then 1. So Mateta, brilliant. So
He's
exactly.
been great.
So it just shows you that when you play in a certain way that gets the best out of, you know, Eze, Elise and Mateta, they fly. And I think that next season, I think they'll go even further. I think when he's had a pre-season, when he's brought players in, they may lose some players perhaps, you know, but money, they'll get money. So, you know, hopefully that, I think next season, I think it'll be better for Palace.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for joining us today. I've really enjoyed the time with you.